get with this other story I got to get to. So this young man out of Clemson, he gets impeached because he sat down during the Pledge of Allegiance. He is a student vice president, and what he did was he sat down during the Pledge of Allegiance, aligning himself with the NFL players who protested. They impeached him.
Yeah.
They impeached this brother. Here is, let's see, and then also this guy, Miller Hoffman, apparently, who is with the student government, said it wasn't racially motivated. That's not what it was about. So I'm just trying to understand exactly what it was. I'm pulling up the guy's name. Again, the student senate voted 40-18 to impeach Jaren Stewart. I'm sorry, did the First Amendment just like leave?
Well, it's always tricky on college campuses. What we're seeing right now is, even with the young men, what we're seeing on college campuses is just because you were admitted into a school or a place of higher learning doesn't mean that you cannot be racist. It doesn't mean that you have addressed those issues or that your family addressed those issues for you. We are seeing an attack on protesting. This is why this NFL protest is so important now that Colin Kaepernick has proceeded to do file claims against the NFL, is that we need to actually be coming together to work to protect people who have a place of dissent from the systems that they are a part of.
This is from the state newspaper. Shelley, go to my iPad. This is Miller Hoffman with the student government explaining this vote. There we go. All right, looks like it's freezing on us.
I would like to emphasize my statements made to the media, to all of you first. I cannot stress enough how the situation has absolutely nothing to do with the flag protest or contain any racial motivation at all. Such a narrative is without evidence and completely untrue.
Interesting. This was interesting. He's saying, oh, this had nothing to do with race. The point of the protests has to do with police brutality and race. That's why the brother was protesting. So you impeach a black student vice president who was protesting in response to police brutality and race, and you're saying, oh, our impeachment isn't about race. That's what this is all about.
Then what is it about? Is it about keeping students safe? No. Is it about higher education? No. It's definitely about race. It's about dissent. We are penalizing, we are criminalizing dissent right now. Even in places where that is the point. You go to school to learn how to critically think and to form your own opinions, even if it means you're forming them against popular systems or mainstream cultures.
Speaking of dissent, so here's our next story, and we're also, in the next segment, we're going to talk with a guest with the Lawyers Committee, because they are helping the students at Kennesaw State University, some cheerleaders who have taken a knee. So remember the Major League Baseball player Bruce Maxwell, the only Major League Baseball player, Oakland Athletics, who took a knee. Well, he told TMZ that when he returned to his hometown of Huntsville, Alabama, to grab a lunch with a friend, he was denied service by a server. To your point there, and Leah Douglas coming on this, again, same thing is like, wait a minute, you're mad because somebody actually chose to exercise their rights? Which Constitution, I'm sorry, are they always touting?
Right. So I think this is, I mean, you hear a lot of talk from conservatives about freedom of speech, having people like not punishing them for their rights and things like that. And then when it comes to taking a knee or, you know, not engaging in kind of patriotic excesses or symbolic whatever around the flag, all of a sudden these people are treasonous and enemy number one. So you can't have it both ways, right? You can't say like I'm a protector and I'm an advocate for free speech and freedom of expression and freedom of, you know, political activities and don't punish me for my political beliefs, and then turn around and say I'm going to penalize you for not holding to whatever patriotic line I think you should be doing. That's about control, right? That's not freedom.
And Douglas, to impeach this brother, and then for Bruce Maxwell, I'm trying to, again, he talked to TMZ Sports, I'm trying to pull it up, say I'm going to deny you service. That's what it is. Oh, no. Black folks, we going to put y'all in check, because y'all just getting a little out of order.
Yeah, and I thought Bruce Maxwell was white.
No,
so,
the baseball player.
Baseball player. Bruce Maxwell from the Oakland Athletics was white. So that even makes it more of a double whammy there. But yeah, I think people need a history course. This country was founded on protests. The Boston Tea Party was a big protest. The Revolutionary War was as a result of a protest. We were protesting tyranny and taxation without representation, which is happening right here in the District of Columbia, by the way. But, you know, I think that's another story for another show. But yeah, we need to have a thorough understanding we're getting away from of the very basis of why this country was founded.
Because, Doug, they ain't read the doggone history.
That's the problem.
And they haven't even read the Constitution. And in fact, if any of these people, you know what? I'm going to play this. And so then in the next segment, we bring our guests talk about Kennesaw State. I did this in a speech a couple of weeks ago when I said Black America, we're going to save America again. Most of these people haven't even actually read the Declaration of Independence, where they talked about unjust government. Here's Bruce Maxwell talking to TMZ Sports about being denied service at that restaurant.
I got racially profiled in my hometown. The day I got home, I wasn't even home 4 hours, and I got denied service at lunch with our city councilman, who's also an African American guy I went to high school with, because the dude recognized me as a guy that took a knee, and he voted for Trump and was at that Trump rally in Huntsville, Alabama.
Now that is unbelievable. Now I wonder if that city councilman is going to move against that particular restaurant, and will that restaurant apologize? Because again, Brandon, that man is exercising his First Amendment rights. Denying service is a violation of 1964 Civil Rights Act.
Yeah, and I agree. And so again,
it's called public accommodation.
I know plenty of conservatives who agree with you about protecting the right of free speech and protest. You're talking about earlier, the chilling effect of free speech on college campuses has been a rallying cry of conservatives for decades, and now we're seeing it liberals or Democrats being the victim of it, and it's becoming a bipartisan issue that we need to allow protest. It's a fundamental core of our democracy, and you know, we'll see what happens. I'm looking for the solution to see what we're going to do about the NFL. We're going to continue watching, continue sending money there with these schools and universities. Are there going to be any type of reaction to really put a stop to this, or are we going to let it fade into the night?
All right.
Weekdays on TV One.
I will never lie to you.
Oh my God.
Roland Martin.
He doesn't want to talk to us. He wants to ignore us.
Uncensored.
Hell no. That ain't gonna cut it, boo.
Unapologetic.
No, that is fundamentally false. You are wrong.
Unfiltered.
He wants an America where we all look alike. He ain't talking about black people.
Unrelenting.
You better go work out, because you got a fight on your hands.
NewsOne Now with Roland Martin. Weekdays at 7 a.m. on TV One.